Hello everyone, my name is Winston. Today I'm going to show you how to solve this LeetCode problem in Ruby. The problem is to make array strictly increasing. So you have two arrays, for example like this, two arrays, and you need to find a way to make the first array strictly increasing. And now you see this is 1, 5, 3, 6, 7. So in order to make it increasing, you need to replace 5 from one of the value in the array. And you can see the output is 1. It means that you need to replace one number in the array so that it will be increasing. And for the second example, it will need to replace two numbers, so the output is 2. You see it's 1, 5, 3, 6, 7. So first you need to replace 5, so it becomes 1, 3, 3, 7, and then you replace the third number with 4, so it will become 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. And for the third example, the output would be -1 if there's no way that can make the first array increasing. When I look at the problem, I find that I couldn't solve it. So I need to look at the solutions, and it has taken me 2 days to finally understand what the code is about. I wish I can do it better, or I wish I could be smarter. Maybe I just need more experience, and I need to do more coding challenge, and then hopefully one day I could just solve the problem right away. For this problem, I have learned binary search, and I find it interesting that so in Ruby, you will have a preview method for binary search, but for JavaScript, you need to create your own method. And because for binary search, you need to find the medium, and there are 2 ways to find the median. You can use map4. So I'm not sure if I type the code correctly, because I solved this question using Ruby. So for example, the left and right and over 2, you can get the map4, or you can get the median by using the, what is this called, right shift operator. So you can use a right shift operator, then it will turn the L plus R into a binary, and then we will shift one position to the right. So actually it will give the same result as if you use map4, and divided by as if the result would be same as you divide this by 2 and map4. So in this problem, I have learned something new, and I have learned right shift operator. I feel that actually it's better to learn how to solve this question in JavaScript, because you will know how to do the binary search. But anyway, I do it in Ruby, and I just use the preview B search. So let's start. So first we have the array, and then we also have, for the second array, we can just we just need the unit number, and also we can sort it. We need to sort the second array so that we can use the binary search, and also we just need the unit number because you don't need to use the same number more than once, because for this problem we just need to we need to make the array strictly increasing. Therefore, we will never need to use the same number twice. And then the next we need to we need to have a variable that will store all the results, as this is dynamic programming. And then we have a recursive method. So we will need to swap. So we will need to try to swap the number from the array to see if we can get the answer. So initially, we will need to test from the first number. So here we will need to have another method called swap, and so I is the index of the array, and the second argument is the previous number. So for example, if we are now on this number, the I would be 1 and the previous number would be 1. Or if we are looking at this number, I will be 2 and the previous number would be 5. So and if we don't need to replace any number, but it is still strictly increasing, then it means 0 number has been replaced. Therefore, we will return 0 if we can get through the array without replacing any number. And to save computational resources, we don't need to run through the method again if we already have the value stored in our memory. And then the next step is so if the current number in the array is greater than the previous value, then it means it is still strictly increasing. Then we can move on to the next number. So we have two options. Either we can let's use this as an example. So we are currently at this number, and then index 0, and then it is greater than -1. So either we can move on to the next number, or we can replace this number with a number in the second array. But for this line, we are going to move on to the next number instead of replacing it. So if the number is greater than the previous number, which is -1, then we will move to the next number. And now we need to use binary search and see if there's any number in the second array that is bigger than the previous value. So as you can see, we have a value that is greater than -1, and we are looking for the index, so j would be 0. So if j, then we can replace the number with the first number that is greater than the previous value. And we will move on to the next index as well. And so because for the next, for example, for this line, after we move to the next number, we will need to see if the next number is greater than this value, which is now the previous value. So we'll need to see if this number greater than the previous value now here, instead of the -1. So for here, after we have replaced the first number using a number from second array, and now we come to the next number in the first array and see if this is greater than the replaced number 2. And the reason why we need to add +1 because we have replaced a number. Therefore, we need to +1. So if we couldn't find a value that is greater than the previous value, it means that the first array would not be strictly increasing. Therefore, it will be, I will need to put it as infinity. The reason is because we just need to find the necessary step to make it strictly increasing. So we don't want to make unnecessary replacement. So the next step is we can set the memory. And we just need to get the minimum number. here. So if at the end is it infinity, it means that we couldn't make the first array straightly increasing. Then we will need to have the output as -1. Therefore, if this is infinity, then return -1, else return the result of the rest variable. Oh, here, let's see. Oh, and now we have the answer. Oh, there is a runtime error. Oh, because I'm not using Ruby. And now it is accepted. I think this coding challenge is very difficult, and I'm not confident that I can solve a similar question like this from scratch and without looking at the solution. But at least from studying this problem, I learned something about right shift operator in JavaScript. If you are also a software developer who has no web experience like me, I would like to tell you how I study the code here. First, I will need to have a shorter or a simpler problem. So in that, instead of using, for example, for this example, you have both arrays have quite many numbers, but in order to study the code, I make the problem shorter like this, and then I will print the memory variable and study it. So here I will study what they means here. So for here, one here means it takes one step to make it straightly increasing, and this one actually is the answer here. And for this one, the reason why it is infinity is because we try to use binary search to find the first number in the second array that is greater than the previous value, which is -1. So we find it and then we replace it. So we replace this one as 2. So it becomes 2, 1, because 2 is greater than -1, so we can replace it. And then after we replace it, and then we move on to the second number, but then this time this number is not greater than the previous number, which is 2. So we will not have it as one of our options. And then from this line, we don't have any number that is greater than 2 in second array. Therefore, j will be nil, so it will be infinity. That's why now it is infinity here. So the previous number is 2, and this is I, so I is the index, so we have 0, 1, so it is the final index. And here, if we add one more number, so why it returns 0 here? So the answer would be this one. This 0, -1 would be here. So it would be the value of rest. And for this one, so the first argument is the index. So now we are looking at the second, the index 2, which is this number. And then the previous number is 2. It means that we have replaced this number with 2. And then the reason why it's 0 is because now we are looking at here. So the index 2 of the first array, which is 3 here. So here now is 3. 3 is greater than the previous value, which is 2. So we will add this to the options. And then I plus 1, it will be 2 plus 1 is 3. So here it will return 0 as I now is equal to the length of the array. Therefore, here we will have it as 0. So we only p this option if I equal to, because we now want to study why it will return 0. That's why I only print the necessary value, and previous value is 2. So it will return an array with only one number, which is 0. So here, so with this value, you will try to understand why it will return 0 here. So as I explained previously, because the index 2 of the first array, which is 3, is greater than the previous value, which is 2. So it will go to the next, we will run the recursive method again, and this time 2 plus 1 is 3, which is equal to the length of the array. Therefore, it returns 0. Okay, and then we can study. So this one is return 1 because we have returned no, we have replaced a number, so that's why it return 1. So the first one is an index, which is here, and then the previous value is 1. So we should look at here. So we replace it with 2, and then we loop the recursive method kicks in, and then finally I equal to the length of the array, so it returns 0, and here 0 plus 1 is 1, therefore it is 1. And there would be we don't have this option because the index 1 of the first array is not greater than the previous value, which is 1. Therefore, we will only have one option, which is this one. We can print the option to see if my explanation is correct or not. Now, as you can see, we have only one option. And then the next is here. The first one is the index. That's why we are looking at 1 here. But the previous number is 2. And the only reason that we have a previous number as 2 is because we have replaced the first number in the array with number 2 here. And we now we will not be able to have an option here because this number is not greater than number 2. So we come to this code, this line of code, and using binary search, we find no number that is greater than number 2 in the second array. That's why j is new. So we come to here, it is infinity. And so that's why it's infinity. So for this case, we also only have one option. If you p the option, it will show as only one option. Which is infinity. And then the next one is this one. This is actually based on the result of the dynamic programming. So if we p the option, we will have, because we can either replace the first number or the second number, so it means that the option should be include 2 options. One is infinity and one is 1. As you can see here. And then we only get the minimum 1, so that's why we return 1. Hopefully you will understand my explanation, and if you think my logical reasoning is good enough, and if you know anyone who is hiring junior developer, please let me know, because in the current market I find it quite hard for career changer to take their first role as a junior developer. Therefore, if you know any opportunities, please let me know. I will be very happy to discuss with you and the potential employers. Thank you for watching. See you next time.